We're gonna go to the New Orleans Pelicans. This is a tasty one, Chase, that I've pulled together for us. It is New Orleans sending number 21, which is a Milwaukee's pick, which they have due to the which trade? Drew Holiday trade? It must be the Drew Holiday trade.
Yeah.
Due to the Drew Holiday trade. So 21 and Dyson Daniels, the combo guard defensive wing out of Ignite, a couple of seasons in now. Maybe hasn't quite taken the strides that they wanted to see yet. They drafted Jordan Hawkins, who plays a similar position last year. And because of their makeup with Zion, like having a non-shooter like Dyson Daniels on the floor can get tricky. So just maybe not the best situation for Daniels to be able to show everything that he has, because he's kind of a little bit Stefan Castle-like. Like he's seriously versatile defender, good connective playmaker. I actually think he's quite a good comp for Stefan Castle. But this is essentially sending 6 to the Pelicans. This will enable them to maybe get their center of the future. There's a lot of rumors talking about they want to get more of a rim protector in the paint this year. So again, this is kind of made with the idea of a Donovan Clingan. But you could also argue they maybe want to get a point guard, right? Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham, maybe those guys, or Nikola Topic. Could potentially guys who are available at 6 as well. They also have a gap at point guard. There's quite a lot of players I think the Pelicans could be interested in at 6. Now, how time pressured are they, right? Do they really want to be adding a rookie as that, like, to their starting unit? That's the question. But Dyson Daniels as a young upside guy in a similar mold to Castle, and you still get pick 21, where in this draft, you're probably going to get one of these guys who's in our top 15 sliding to 21. I just think that's probably going to happen. What do you think?
I think this might be the one that we get a little bit of a hang up on here. I mean, I like Dyson Daniels a lot. Like I probably had him higher than consensus, I would say, in his class. I don't know if I could go from 6 to 21 only with him. If you give me Najee Marshall or maybe even like Jose Alvarado in this trade as well, and then maybe you ship out like JT Thor or like Bryce McGowan's or somebody that has, actually, I don't think you can trade JT Thor, but
so Najee Marshall's a free agent. I know that because I've written his free agent profile.
You're right. He is.
And I think he's a really good target for Charlotte in free agency, which you'll see that at some point in June, folks, if on allhornets.com. Najee Marshall, kind of like a guard wing free agent, is an interesting guy for Charlotte to add. I understand what you mean about Alvarado. For me, I was thinking then that tips the other way where it's like too much to give up for New Orleans. But maybe it depends, right? Like how much they value that player at 6. But that's fine. I understand. Like this is a Dyson Daniels is a young player who has probably been disappointing thus far. For me, it's just a bet on he's been in not a great situation. He's had a really like changeable role where he's been in the rotation, out the rotation. He's dealt with injury. For me, this is like a reclamation project, the type that I would want to take. And I was like, I think I had Dyson Daniels 5 or 6 in that class. Like I had him high. I was a big Dyson Daniels fan. In fact, interesting question. In a vacuum, as a draft prospect, Stefan Castle or Dyson Daniels, who do you think you would have been higher on pre-draft?
Dyson Daniels, for sure. I think he was a better defender.
I agree.
Probably a better passer, like ball handler. I think he's, I don't want to say like more athletic, but he definitely is more like fluid in space, like moves around better. Maybe like a little bit weaker and not as strong and like bulky and sturdy as Castle, but I think just definitely a little like faster and quicker. Neither of them can shoot. So that would really be like not like that wouldn't factor in at all for me. I think I'd probably lean Dyson, not like too strongly, but definitely like enough to where I would be pretty certain that if I could choose them right now, like only having 2 years left on Dyson's deal, I'd probably take Dyson over Stephon Castle today. So, I mean, I really like the idea of adding like any of these like non-shooting, but extremely defensively versatile wings like Dyson Daniels, Isaac Okoro, Najee Marshall, like all of these guys I think would be good fits for Charlotte because they do have like a lot of shooters in theory right now when they're like a healthy team at full strength, which we have not seen yet at all. But
it's crazy to think like they were the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA last season. Yet you
If you
talk
look at the
about it and you're
roster, it's
like,
crazy.
yeah, you're like, well, they're actually a pretty good shooting team, but the history book literally says they are not.
Yeah, it's truly wild how that is case in point that like 3-point variance is like the biggest factor in your offense from like over a large sample size on a night to night basis. Like if you have your good players and in turn your best shooters on the floor every night, the Hornets offense would have been so much better and they would have won many more games, but we have not gotten to see that in like 2 full years. So hopefully this is the year. And then in that case, that would give somebody like Dyson Daniels or Stephon Castle or whatever, like, non-shooter or subpar shooting wing, like maybe Cody Martin as well, a much better platform to succeed.
And Dyson Daniels has shot 31.2% from three for his career so far. And remember in his draft cycle, he really had an upswing of 3-point shooting late in the year. I think from February onwards, they shot some very good percentage. So he actually had positive indicators to end the year, which is what I think was one of the things that boosted his stock. So, okay, well, look, I wasn't expecting us to get through all 8 here and agree. So this is to be expected. But I think it's interesting. My gut feels like New Orleans don't go young. They go more experienced because I think pressure is beginning to rank up on Willie Green, on David Griffin there. And I just don't know if adding a rookie is the best way to go about that. So that's my other reason of maybe why this doesn't happen.